Where did Europeans come from to settle in America? We all know Europeans have a long history in America, going back way before the Pilgrims and even Columbus. Today, let's explore the journey of the first Europeans who set foot on the American continent and the stories of those who followed. The history shaped the future of North and South America and is full of adventure, surprises, and change. To start, the first Europeans we know of who reached America were the Vikings from Scandinavia, and this happened around the year 1000 AD, which is about 500 years before Columbus, and they were led by Leif Erikson. They sailed west from Greenland and reached an area they called Vinland. Historians believe this was likely in modern-day Newfoundland, Canada. The Vikings built small settlements in North America, but they didn't stay for long. They faced challenges from the environment and conflicts with the indigenous peoples, and after some years or a few years, they returned to Greenland and Iceland, leaving the North America for others to discover centuries later. Now, fast forward to 1492, Christopher Columbus, an Italian explorer sponsored by Spain, set sail across the Atlantic, and he landed in the Bahamas in the Caribbean. Well, he thought he had reached Asia. Columbus's voyages sparked a huge wave of European exploration, and while Columbus never actually set foot in North America, his journeys opened the door for Spain, Portugal, France, England, and others to explore and claim land in the America. This was the start of the Age of Exploration, a period when Europeans would explore, trade, and often conflict with indigenous nations. After Columbus, Spain and Portugal quickly claimed huge areas in the Americas. Spain focused on Central and South America, including Mexico, Peru, and the Caribbean islands. They set up colonies, built cities, and mined precious metals. Portugal on this side focused on Brazil, established plantations and trade routes. These early colonies changed the land and impacted the people who lived there. Indigenous populations faced new diseases and new cultures, and their lives were forever changed. In the 1600s, France and England entered the scene. The French explored and settled along the St. Lawrence River, while the Great Lakes and down the Mississippi River, they focused on fur trading and built alliances with indigenous tribes. Meanwhile, the English set up colonies on the eastern coast of America, like Virginia and Massachusetts. They began with small settlements that eventually grew into large colonies, sparking both trade and conflict with indigenous nations. As European colonies grew, they brought changes to the land and the lives of indigenous peoples. Europeans introduced new goods like metal tools and firearms, but also brought diseases that indigenous communities had no immunity to, like smallpox. These diseases spread quickly, leading to tragic population declines among indigenous groups. Additionally, land conflicts and European settlement disrupted traditional ways of life. Some indigenous nations formed alliances with European powers to protect their lands and resources, but the balance of power was constantly shifting. Along with European settlement came the Transatlantic slave trade. European settlers brought enslaved Africans to the Americas, where they were forced to work on plantations, especially in the Caribbean and the southern part of North America. This brutal practice was a key part of the economy in many European colonies and left a lasting impact on American society. Let's dive into the birth of new cultures now. While European settlement had many harmful effects, it also led to culture changes and the birth of new traditions, foods, music, art, and languages from Europe, Africa, and the indigenous nations. which were mixed to create unique cultures in different parts of the America. From Creole cultures in Louisiana to the blending of European and indigenous customs in Mexico, this mix still shapes the American life today. So the story of Europeans in America is complex. It's a tale of exploration and colonization, of both conflict and cooperation. While Europeans left a lasting mark on the continent, the Americans or the Americas also transformed those who settled there. Indigenous peoples, Africans and Europeans all contributed to what would eventually become the nations of North and South America. Well, I should say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comment what historical topics you would like us to cover next. Like I always tell you, we're going to dive into a series of history to find out where all of us come from to settle in America. I mean, we all come from somewhere. Some people may not know where they come from, especially the younger generation. Maybe their parents don't have the time, they're too busy for life to teach them exactly about their customs, about their culture, about their tribes and their origin. But at least with this YouTube video, you get to understand where you come from, even if you don't get the chance to interact with your parents or your grandparents about this whole history. So come along with me, just subscribe and follow my videos. I'm sure you won't get disappointed. Thank you for watching and have a good day. If you're sleeping right now, have a good night, or whatever it is. Thank you so much.